I was on a recent podcast where like most interviews, you're asked, how you doing? And my response is always the same. I am doing great, fantastic. Mainly the reason why I say that is because I'm alive. I love existence. I love to learn from the horrible, if you will. And I relish in love and laughter. I have an optimistic viewpoint toward life. Now, it is not, and I repeat, it is not naive optimism. I have a true optimistic viewpoint toward life. Because of the shit I've had to deal with. And because of the fact I made it through a whole sane person. Now I'm going to get a little personal. I'm going to reveal a little more about myself than I have in other videos. And I'm not doing this because I want pity. No. I hate pity. I hate self-pity. Just to give you a better understanding of why I have this optimism. Now, I do not come from privilege whatsoever. Not at all. Not even remotely. My family, I've done my family tree. Trust me, no one in my family, anywhere in my family tree, had any money, had any schooling. Basically come from poor white trash on one side and Mexican Polak trash on the other side. My parents never married. My mother, by the age of 25, had 7 children, and this was back in the 1960s. My father left my mother when I was 5 years old. My mother, for the longest time, would go off and be gone for days. One of my earliest memories was being molested by a male babysitter. This kid was in his teens. I also was molested by a female babysitter. We were hungry children, so she said she'd give me $1 so I can go get something to eat if I would first eat something else, if you know what I mean. So she positioned herself in the edge of the bed, and I had to eat her out until she was satisfied, and then she gave me $1. Some of my earliest memories also were of going through the neighborhoods in San Francisco, looking through garbage cans for something to eat. I was put in a juvenile hall for a while as a child. The best thing about that was getting food. Then I lived with my grandmother for a while, who was a strict Jehovah's Witness, and that was bizarre. Then I was in a foster home, put into a foster home because of the lack of care my mother was giving us. The foster home, though, was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I lived with them from the age of 6 till 14, 8 years. And they taught me what structure was. I learned how to read during that period. I learned how to think. I learned how to feel like a human being. Then I went and my biological father decided to take us back. He decided he wanted us. as a 14-year-old, and he was a Harley man. He was a biker. He was closely affiliated with certain bike club. He dealt drugs for them. He disciplined with his fists. Now, I understand this sounds chaotic, and for some of you, you might go, whoa, and others of you might go, shit, that's nothing compared to what I went through. But I'm saying this to let you know that I'm no different than you. It's just that I was able to incorporate this philosophy, this left-hand path philosophy. And luckily, in my later teens, I learned of it, and that helped me quite a bit. But incorporating that philosophy into my life gave me an optimism toward existence. It made me understand what Nietzsche was saying when he said, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I understand that now. But my adulthood hasn't been easy either. I was married to a woman who couldn't stay faithful. My 12-year-old daughter was brutally raped. Now, that was the hardest thing I ever had to deal with. Because whatever happens to you, you can get through it. You can grow from it. But if something happens to your child, how do you just get through it? And not only that, my fiance of 10 years died of pancreatic cancer. I've seen this shit. And then just 4 years ago, I lost everything in a fire. Everything. I've dealt with some shit, but I still hold my head high. I'm still able to focus on the positive, even through the darkness. And that's what it's about. That's what this path is about, realizing the darkness. And for one, being able to create your own light in the darkness. So, my friends, it's up to you what you do with this existence and the bullshit that's handed to you. Do you sit down and you cry and you feel sorry for yourself and you moan and you groan? Or do you look at it as something that made you a stronger person? A more sure person? That right there, that's what the path did for me.